Alright, I'm gonna show you guys just like basics of making a card in here. To get set up, that's gonna be like a whole different thing. I don't even know if I'm the right person to make that video. I'm just like not super familiar with Git. I like fumble my way around until it works. And I mean, I've gotten this far and it's like fine, but I don't think I'm great at explaining how to get all that set up. I mean, just real quick, what you'll do is you'll go here to the main repo, which is also linked on community dev channel. In the pins here, right here, you will fork it. Once you have your fork, which I already do, then you're kind of set there. You'll go into VS Code or whatever. I use Cursor, which is just like similar but has better AI features, although they are like pretty much exclusively like paid features outside of the first week, I think. Whereas VS Code, I think you get like an allowance or something every month or week. Anyhow, you'll clone it, so then it's on your local device. So it's like a copy of your copy that's on GitHub of your fork. So it'll be there, and then you'll have all the files for Twinleaf. It should probably look like this. Like I said, there's more to it to set it up, and that's probably a whole different video. You'll go through all this stuff. I think, honestly, like the README, this is probably good enough for people who know what they're doing, but I think leaves out a few steps for people who don't, which is like extremely reasonable. But that's why I'm saying, like, if you are new, then this might not be a complete set of like step by step. It's just kind of like the general gist if you already kind of get what you're doing. I mean, it is step by step, but still. You will want to go into PTCG server. This is where all of the game stuff is. PTCG play is like the stuff that runs the game. That's like the client, and this is the server. So like where all of the game runs in source, and then sets. This is where all of the cards are. They're organized by set, as you can tell. And today, I think I'm gonna make this. This seems like a good beginning card for people to learn. So, Brock Zubat. Now, what I usually do, I've made a ton of cards at this point, and I'm like familiar with what are good cards to reference. So, I'll probably do like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll do this Charmander from Expedition as like a template. I usually just like copy a whole card, and then what set is this from? It's from Gym Hero, so I will go into Gym Heroes, right click, new file, and then it will be Brock's Zubat.ts. Oh, I lied. it already exists. Wait, really? Why does that already exist? Who's using Brock to do that? Oh, there's another one. This is a good learning moment, by the way. So when there's two of them, we name them Brox Zubat. Sorry, two. That's yes. Like that. Then, oops. Similarly, right here, you're going to want to change this to the right name. You're going to want to change the type. I mean, this is stage, type, HP. We're also going to add in here a tag. This is tags is equal to a list array, whatever it is. Card tag dot Brox. And then, so this is just saying that like it's Brox. For cards that reference like a Brox Pokemon, like we're not using the name or the like string for the name. So instead we use this because there's some like edge cases where that matters. So what's the HP on this guy? 40. So 40. Weakness psychic. Retreat 0. So you just leave it blank or like empty. It does have a resistance too, so it'll be public resistance. This doesn't need to be there. It can, but doesn't. Is resistant to fighting at -30. Fighting -30. Weakness defaults to ×2, but you can do a similar thing where like value +20. There's a lot of like diamond pearl stuff that does that. For attacks, you just have a name. So this first one's simple. It's just 10. So it'll be wing attack close 10, and then you just leave the text blank like that. Excuse me. For the second attack, Poison Fang, we will go Poison Fang. It is a grass and a colorless. By the way, that autofill stuff is like just the AI thing. It's pretty handy, but you don't need it. It's totally doable without it. For the text of like effects, like attacks, I usually just copy it straight from there. Something to note, if you're copying from here, these guys will copy in like that. They will copy in like this. What we use, and I think of what Limitless uses, is that instead, and that will show up as like the right symbol. Just wanted to mention that. So set code, there's also some weird set code things, like I think Limitless lists some set codes is like E1, E2, E3 for like the for the E-card series. We use a different one. I don't know why there's like different things depending on where you go, different set codes. But anyhow, this one's G1. If you notice that an image isn't working, that's kind of how you know that the set code isn't right. You can just change it, look up like what the alternatives are, and then use those and just see what works, or just reference other cards in the in the folder and just like be sure, just double check what there. That's actually a better way to do it. So then for the actual effect, so if you have a card where there's like, it's just like does 20 and does 10, like if there's no attack effect or no power, then you can just stop here, like you're set. Delete this little reduce effect guy, and you are on your way. Like that's all you need to do. But for this, we do have an effect. So here's the thing. We're kind of in the process of refining like all of the effects. The was attack used, this happens at the same time as like damage is being calculated. So if you have something that's like flip a coin if heads deal more damage, that's something we use all the time. Store state effect 20. So if you're calculating damage, you'll want to use the was attack used. For anything that happens like before the damage resolves, you'll want to use this as well. Most cards use this for like everything. We're going to try to move away from that soon enough. For now, yeah, that's all I'll say about that for now. Really, the thing we should be using though, I can actually keep this here. The thing we should be using is after attack this guy. And this says that after this, so this right here is the attack with index 0. This is the attack with index 1. So after the first one is used, you'll flip a coin. If there is I know it says if there's a result, the result here is just a Boolean. So this is going to be true or false depending on if it's heads or tails. So this is basically just saying if the result is true, so that means it's like a heads, then you'll do this part. This was from Charmander, so we're not going to do that. We want add poison to player active. So these guys are all in caps and like green. They might be different color on yours, I'm not sure. Let me just finish typing this. Store state player. This will be effect dot player. You can always reference other cards to like figure out how it works. There's plenty of effects that have been implemented, so like chances are you'll find something and be able to reference it there. What's the last thing I did? This is the source. That's it. So what I was saying, these guys that are in caps and all green, these are prefabs. So these are just like quick little shortcuts of effects we use all the time in like attacks and trainers and all that. So there's actually a file here, prefabs. When you're starting out, like reference these a lot just to see if something has been made. They are very helpful, and they also keep things relatively like mistake free, typo free. And there's some where like edge cases are accounted for, and like I think there's a draw cards where you have to like remember that you can only draw cards as many as like are in the deck, and so it's just like not worth trying to remember that for every single card, so you just use this and it's easy. Yeah, so a lot of it is when you're first starting out, you'll want to be making stuff that's like kind of well established. Like find whatever oh sorry, you will also have to like open up your local host and all that and run this, but that's again different video. You're just gonna want to look for something that has the same effect. So if you want to do something where you search your deck for a item for an item. Let's say you want to do something like that. Here's one that has the exact same effect. So, and it's pretty new. In general, my recommendation is to either reference new cards because they are like more likely to be up to date with the way we actually want to do them, to make them, because there is like a little bit of variation in the way things are implemented, and newer are almost always going to be better. Not always, but pretty much always. The other thing I recommend is like RSPK era, just because I've been doing most of those and I think they're pretty good for the most part. They should be relatively up to date just because they've been added more recently. So yeah, if you want to reference this, you can go here and go like Team Rockets Marie. And here is how you do that effect. So let's say you are trying to make something that's searched instead for a tool. You just go here, like you can it's pretty readable, so you can kind of go like, oh, there's a thing where you choose cards, and this is like, there's a player, and then there's a message for the thing where you choose cards. There's cards. There's a filter. So it looks like we're searching the deck. It looks like the filter is for trainers and for items. So here, I mean, you can kind of intuitively just say, oh, it's a tool that we want. And there, boom, you're done. That's going to be your effect that you want. Don't change it on Marie. Make whatever card you want, of course, and then change it on there. Yeah, like I said, a lot. I don't know why this is on here. Different types. I don't think that needs to be there. But like literally just reference whatever and like change the properties that are like very clearly you should change. All the basic card stuff, the attacks, the powers, or whatever. I can show you one with a power too. Let's see, what should I do? There's a numeral in. Yeah, this guy. So powers will look like this. They can also have a like use when in play property. There, some of them do use when in play. Yeah, it'll look like that. It just means you can like click it when you're like viewing the card. But for passive ones, they won't have it, of course. And those are usually triggered by some other effect, the passive ones. And like I said, if you're curious about how something works, literally just find the card. Like if you want to know how to chart, or Badu, that's an interesting one. If you want to know how Badu works, you can kind of just like read your way through it. And yeah, it's pretty readable. So like if there's an effect that is an attack effect, and the attack effect is equal to this one's 0th attack, which is this one because it's the first one there, then you add a marker to the opponent, and it says they can't play items. So if they play an item and they have the marker, then I throw an error. It's that easy. And then at the end of the turn, if there's an effect that's an end turn effect, we remove the marker from the player whose end of the turn it was. So yeah, like go through, do a whole lot of copying and pasting of like whatever effects that you want to do, and eventually you'll get more and more comfortable with like changing what the effect actually does, to the point where you can just like write them from scratch for like weird ass effects. Yeah, I don't want to save that or that. Yeah. Actually, let me close this out. So we can see this guy. So this one, remember, it's the second one. For the original, you just keep it like this, the way it is. But because this is the second one, I like to put 98. So like whatever the number is after, and I'll just distinguish it from, you could put 2, I guess, as well, whatever. But I'll distinguish it from the other one when you're like in the deck editor. Because it needs to know that it's not the same card. So, after your card's all set, you will go to index. Wait. Oh, it's Brock's. I was looking for Z in the index, and I was like, it's not there, but it's right here. Here we go. So, we'll do import this guy right there. So this, you'll import it because like we made the file, but now you have to say that like when you're looking through the set that it's there. So you'll import the file that you just made, and then you'll like create a new instance of the thing you just made. That's how I understand it. Save it, and then down here we are going to npm run start dev, and then in this we're going to npm run start local, and it'll take a second. On my older laptop it took like kind of forever, so if it is, like, don't worry about it, it's kind of just expected. Boom. So yeah, now this is running on here, so we'll go on here. Or I guess it's running on here is where you'd go. You click this. And then deck editor, and then you go rocks. We'll see that. That's the old one. Why is the new one not here? Oh, you know why? I bet. Wait. What was the... I don't think we changed the number, did we? I do this all the time. Just like completely forget to change something. So this is number 74. So we'll want our new card to be number 74. And I'll change this too, because why not? And then it's gonna like restart the server because we updated it. I'll just take a second. Boom. And then let's go here. Let's see if it's in. Oh, that looks right to me. Sweet. So then what you're gonna want to do is make a little test deck like this. test it out. So you'll want to open a second tab as well, so you can like challenge yourself like this. Done this a million times now. Sure. Damn it, we need grass energy, don't we? Yep. Okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll put grass energy in. Okay. Here we go, for real this time. Boom, boom. And I guess this doesn't matter. There we go. So now you'll want to test out whatever is like worth testing out. If it's your first card, test out everything, because like who knows what you could have messed up. But as you get better, you'll probably have to test a little bit less. I mean, definitely still test everything. Like it's definitely best, but so it looks like that worked. We had it dealing damage, and then we have it flipping, and it got tails. I'm just gonna keep doing this like other side here, or maybe not. Actually, I don't want to kill myself. Here we go. So let's see if we can get a heads. Never lucky. Never, ever, ever lucky. We have for retreat, actually. Let's see if we can get a heads now. There it is. Okay. And that is a butt. I'm glad I tested. So, I absent-mindedly, if we go back to the attack, after the attack, we have a flipping a coin. The player's going to flip the coin. If there's a heads, which there was, then we add poison to player active. Whose player, or which player? The player who is also the one flipping the coin. That's not right. Okay, so what you'll want to do, I'm just going to go, oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. Hold on. So constant player is affect dot player. Constant opponent is going to be state utils dot get opponent. It's not player. I think it's just state player, like that. Okay, there we go. So now we can access the opponent. And so then you just put it there. Boom. So now we're poisoning the opponent instead of ourselves. Perfect. So that should be good to go. I'm not going to test it because it's going to be fine. But you definitely should test it. Do as I say, not as I do. I think that's kind of it, honestly. I know this has been kind of long, but I hope it's like a decent intro. Like I was saying before, like really and truly just add cards that are like progressively less and less simple. Get used to like modifying things more and more. And as you gain confidence, you'll eventually just be completely doing everything on your own. So like you'll be able to make whatever effect you want, pretty much. So yeah, that's it. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. I know this probably wasn't the greatest tutorial in the world, but it's a start. So yeah.